Hi, welcome back to a new video. In this video, I install and plumb all 4 of my brakes up. But before I start this video, there is 3 officers standing right behind the camera that will arrest anybody that has not hit the subscribe button. So make sure you do that. Alright, now you can roll the words. The kit that I bought for my front brakes was a Wilwood 4-piston setup, and the box that it came in was pretty cool, so obviously you have to take a second to check that out. The brakes will be good for what I'm doing with this car. I mean, I don't need a super sporty car, but also I'll have more than enough surface area for more stopping power, which is never a bad idea. Because my Mustang originally had disc brakes in the front, I have power disc brake spindles with only 3 holes for screws. First, the mounting brackets go on, and then you torque those down. Then you take your discs and you install the bearings on them, and you make sure to pack the bearings before you put them in. Then I tighten the nut that holds the disc in place, and I made sure to tighten it so it had some resistance, but very little resistance. After that, the cotter pin goes in, and then the dust cap, which was a little difficult. Now that the disc is on, I can put the caliper on and find the right amount of shims so that the caliper is centered over the disc. The caliper definitely has to be centered, or else one side will brake harder than the other, and that's not good for the brakes. When the caliper was centered, I could put the brake pads in and start plumbing it up. And to do that, you take the 90-degree piece that comes in the kit and put plumber's tape on it and then install it, but not too tight because it can crack the aluminum, and that's definitely not good. Lastly, I found a good place to mount the other end of the flex line where the rotor can spin all the way it needs to without issue, and I mounted it down. Bought a kit off of Summit Racing which had good reviews, and the company's called Right Stuff, I guess. It's basically just a rear caliper kit with parking brakes, and parking brakes, obviously you need them. Some people don't get them, which for some reason doesn't make any sense, but I figured I needed them. I started by putting in the axles that I took off in the last Mustang video and cleaned the face of the axle and the lug bolts, and then I painted it. The first bracket goes over the axle retainer plate, and then the disc can go on. The kit comes with brackets that weld onto the diff housing, and they retain the flex line from moving around. So I found the right spot where I wanted to mount both of them, and then I welded them on. Then the flex line can go in along with the clip. I first started off by mounting the distribution block onto the car after I cleaned it up. And mounting this first means that I could run all my lines into this distribution block, and then I'd be ready to go to just throw the master cylinder on and then the 2 lines into it, and everything would be all plumbed up. I started from the back by connecting the 2 flex lines from the rear calipers.
Well, this is my first flare, and I completely missed it. So this flex line is about to run from that T to that bracket right there.
One of the things I wanted to do in this car was add an adjustable portioning valve, so I had to make a bracket to fit that into the car.
Then I ended up making for the switch thing right there.
Shut up. Once the valve was in, I ran the line from the rear into the outlet of the proportioning valve, and then I ran the inlet to the proportioning into the distribution block. Then I ran my 2 front brakes into the distribution block. Now that I have all the lines ran to the calipers, I had to put on the brake booster as well as the master cylinder so that I could connect the 2 lines from the master cylinder to the distribution block. I threw my pedal at the car and it magically mounted somehow, and then I was able to find my brake light switch and I put that in properly as well. I won't show you how I bled my brakes because honestly there's way better videos of explaining how to do it, but here's a cool picture of a fire hydrant. Now I still have to mount my parking brake into the car technically because this is the brakes video, but I thought about it and I realized that I'm gonna have to run some things in before I can put the parking brake in, or else I'll just have to take it back out, like the exhaust. So I will do that in a later video, but I promise I will do it because I do need parking brakes. So before I wrap up this video, I wanted to talk about my grandpa real quick. So back when I was putting these brakes on, which was back around July, beginning of August, my grandpa passed away. At the time that I was given the Mustang, he had legal ownership, so basically my dad and my grandpa gave me this car. It's pretty sad, but I'm gonna finish this build keeping my great grandpa and my grandpa in mind. I'm also gonna keep filming this series so that you guys can follow along too. But with that in mind, thank you guys for watching. Any kind of support, liking, subscribing, commenting would mean a lot, and it would support this channel quite a bit. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.